So I guess I take it from here, right? Please, everyone back to your seat. Everyone back to your seat. We are about to leave. See, this is what happens when we use so much energy. People go for the coffee, right? They need coffee. It's like coffee's life, right? So just like oil, they are very similar when you look at them. Just don't drink the second option, okay? Keep with the first, which is the coffee. Who here does not like coffee? Let me just be a show of hands. Who doesn't like coffee? Tea, perhaps? Water? Colored water? With different colors? Pure water. That's essential. You know that coffee is made with water, right? So that's a good thing. But it's a little bitter. Okay, so Lucio, thank you very much. Carlos, where's Carlos? I envy you now with the cap, with the style. I feel kind of a little traditional here. But okay, I hope you guys like it. You see, when you got like, this is a very a different type of hair, right? It's called in Brazil swimming pool type. You know why? Well, it's full, but you can see the bottom, right? That's what we call the swimming pool type. So everyone is back there at the coffee, drilling out some oil for them to drink. So Carlos, thank you very much for inviting me to participate. That was kind of fun. I just discovered, really, not discovered, but I just recovered the fact that I'm really bad at drawing. Man, thank God I don't have to leave on that because, you know, drawing would be a problem in my life. And this is the time that we are among engineers most, right? Who is not an engineer here? Okay? Oh my God. I feel better now. Like geologists. Okay? So geologists, engineer, and normal people. Is that what we have? Okay, so good. Or it's the other way around, right? So this is the time when we get this type of icebreaker that we then remember how numbers are easy and how humans are complex, how communication can be a big problem, but we cannot live without it. We are just creatures of communication. We were born to socialize. If we do not do that, well, we can become a stone, we can become a number, but not human. So thank you very much for opening up the fact that we can be here together to talk about human, to talk about being human. And it's really a pleasure, and I know that talking about this subject can feel sometimes a little strange. So you may look at me with the swimming pool type of hairstyle and think, what planet this guy comes from? What type of language this person is using? Why? Because it's a little bit off what you are used to use as a language on a daily basis. You know what I mean? So we are going to be touching a subject that's already in you, because believe it or not, you guys are humans. Yes. And this is the subject. That's the main part of our conversation today. So hopefully I can get through with the language I'm going to use. You know, every time we start a conversation with a client and we have to hear about a problem we gotta help to solve. But for my astonishment, I was really surprised at the briefing process when I asked it, what's the problem that we are gonna tackle? You know, like a mechanic, I look at a car, I see a broken tire, a broken engine, a broken gear. We know what to do. We go there and fix. But no, Gabi was at the meeting, Diego was at the meeting, and then I asked her, what's the problem? And they looked at me and said, no, there's not a problem. It's like, I remember crossing my arms, having a little identity crisis, right? Because I'm a problem solver. And then I have no problem, so, oh Lord, what am I going to do? Right? Who am I at this very moment? But then, what I realized is that the aim here is not because we got a problem, it's because there is a wish. There is a desire to make something that's already good to become better. Now imagine the pressure I have on my shoulders, because if you got a broken engine, you just go there and fix it. I know how to fix it. If I got a problem with my tire, I'm gonna fix that. But when we got something that is already good, and we are gonna help to make it better, I felt just like being in Formula One. The fine-tuning is on the millisecond. And man, fine-tuning that is a real problem. Well, and that's a problem for me, not for you guys. So who's got the problem here today? This person who's talking to you. So I'm gonna need you guys to help me solve my problem, which is to help you get even better on that little millisecond. That's why I was really astonished. And I hope no, it's not working. But anyways, it's important to say, maybe you gotta help me with the slides. Talvez você me ajude a passar o slide. Você pode passar o slide, por favor? No? But because of that, guys, I do have a mission with you. And my mission, as I realized on how can I help fine-tuning these Formula One people, you guys are already good. Do you know that? Who here thinks you are not already good? Show of hands. So you know yourselves, right? So my mission here, is to bring you language and structure. Why? Carlos brought us a very good experience. We are symbolic creatures. And because of that, we need communication. And because of that, most of the time we don't understand each other very clearly. We got to repeat ourselves. Does everyone know what I'm talking about? Am I already using a language that you guys understand, or I am using something that is like, oh my Lord, what is this man talking about? Is everyone understanding? So I want to bring you language so you can talk about psychological safety. So you have a dictionary. And also, you can have a structure. Well, engineers, geologists, people who work with processes, structure really helps. So language and structure is what I need you guys to understand. And of course, if I need you guys to understand, you gotta let me know if you're not understanding. Can we have this agreement here? So if you kind of just don't understand, during my talk to you guys, or at coffee break, or lunch, raise your hands and say, man, that joke with your hair was good. The rest, I understand nothing. So can you help me out here so I can really get the language and really get the structure? So feel free to call me up. Do we have disagreement? Yes or no? Oh, this is the energy, really? In a day, we are decompressing with the sun, the trees, and Lord looks at us, and we go like, do we have an agreement? And people go, yeah. Man, just like go to your wife or your husband, you know what? I was promoted at the company. I did everything that I needed to do. All right? All right. Good for you, Gabi. You did all you could. You were just the best. Congratulations, let's have a glass of water. And you go like, man, why did I marry you? Right? So this is not exactly what we want. So we need to express ourselves. So basically, it starts with a single word. And the word is yes. Okay, you can say no if you don't have the agreement with me. But you can, no, I hope you guys just say yes. So, do we have an agreement? Yes. That's the energy. All right. So, as long as I'm going to be talking about humans, us, basically, what happens is that we are going to go through steps. And they may feel kind of weird. At times, you may kind of listen to your grandmother or your grandfather talking, and you go inside yourself and you think like, Jesus, my company paid a guy to tell me what my grandma said for free. Yeah, but you didn't listen. Now there's a cost. Now you're going to make some effort to listen to it, okay? So, the first step for every single thing we got to do in life, if we can do this single thing, if you can remember just this thing today on, is the optimal state of mind. Okay, so what does it mean? Well, let's imagine a situation in our heads here. You just got a fight at home. No, you were promoted, you were so happy, and your husband just says, let's have a water. You go like, man, I'm mad. I'm upset. I'm fed up. But you do have a meeting 5 minutes later. How do you go to that meeting? Stressed, upset, fed up. And then you sit in the Zoom or Meet. What do you guys use? Meet? Meet. Google Teams, right? Okay, Teams. There's an invitation in that name, right? Teams. So you sit at your table in your house and you are mad. And your boss appears in the screen and you go like, good morning. Everything's so nice. You know, 2 weeks ago, I was doing a mentoring process and my client arrived at the Meet, not Teams. And I said, Rodrigo, how are you arriving to the session today? And he said, everything is fine. Okay, good, protocol is done. Now unpack. What do you mean by everything is fine? Well, he starts saying, nah, not. Everything is not fine. Okay, so keep going. 15 minutes later, we haven't started the session yet. In his head, in my head, that's all we needed. We have to be able to unfold what's going on right now with us. So my question to you, having the optimal state is key for whatever you are going to do. So I have an invitation, maybe weird. It's a very, very old technology, very old. It's available to everyone. And also, it's for free. And sometimes we remember we can use it. The name of this technology is breathing. So just let's breathe. Remember your grandmother? Count to 10 and breathe deeply. So what I need you guys to do is really, both feet on the floor, they gotta be parallel, just like this. So there are the tables, so I'm gonna make you guys look backwards. Feet like this. You can be sitting, don't worry. Just keep the feet like this. So somatically speaking, everyone understand the word somatic, what it means? Yes or no? No. Somatic is body. It's the language of the body. Psychosomatic illness. Well, all illness will affect your body. So basically, all of them are psychosomatic illnesses. Very good. So when we keep the feet parallel, what we are basically doing is telling ourselves somatically, using the body language, that we are stable. Psychological safety starts with our roots, starts where we stand and how we stand. So keep your feet parallel. Okay, not Olympics, man, just day-to-day basis, just parallel like this. Relax your arms Close your eyes. Trust, no one is going to abduct you from here. I guarantee after you open your eyes, you're still going to be here. So all I need you to do is, through your nostrils, breathe inside deeply, fully in your belly. So in. When you exhale through your mouth, do it slowly. One more time. Deeply. Exhale. If someone is not doing this, you're losing a great chance of being in touch with yourself. Keep breathing one more time. And now, just tuning into yourself and see if some parts of your body is tense, like your hands, your thigh, your back, your shoulders. I don't bite. Okay? Good. Okay, so now you can open your eyes easily, slowly. My question to you, I need you guys to be sincere, but the question is only worth for those who really did this process. Do you feel a little different from what you were feeling before? Yes or no? The yes can be very low now because we can enter a new dimension after we use this old technology called breathing. But my question to you, how many times do you breathe? Do you breathe deeply per day? 0. How many years does a dog live? 16? 20? Have you guys ever noticed how a dog breathes? Isn't it like that? Now, how many years does a turtle live? 150, 200 years, maybe. Finding Nemo, we got a class there with a turtle, right? Okay, so, have you ever noticed a turtle breathing? You will not. Because you look at the turtle and the turtle is like, and the dog, 10 times, and the turtle, 1 time, 10 times to 1, 15 to 150, 20 to 200. Got the idea? Okay, so we need to get into the optimal state. And the optimal state needs your body. So you have to come into your body. So next time, when you have a transition, you leave from here to the coffee break. You leave from the coffee break to lunch or back here. Or you leave from a fight or a love moment, and then you go to a meeting. Be aware of this transition and diligently, intentionally get in the optimal state. Because if you're not there, well, you gotta ask that question. Is it adequate, the way I'm feeling, the way I am right now, to whatever I'm gonna do next? Because time is something very, very interesting. It never comes back. So when the meeting starts, already started. When you go to bed, you already went to bed. When you go to shower, you already went to shower. You don't go back. You're like a and rewind your life? No, you will not. So, if you have to remember just one takeaway from my talk today, remember this. Get into the optimal state. It's going to appear in Portuguese, but I hope you guys understand what you can see. If not, someone in the audience here is going to translate for us. Did you see what happened here? Was that clear for everyone what happened? Yes or no? Who's going to speak up about that? You have 30 seconds to speak. Counting. 1, 2, 3. You want to speak? Go.
No, it wasn't clear to me because I don't speak Portuguese very well, so.
From what you saw.
A guy walks and then turns to the left.
Okay. That was really, really good. And what happened when he did this? Let's see that again. Thank you very much, by the way. You were very brave. Now get to the detail. Now did you see the detail? What did the teacher do? He smiles. He smiles. Why? It's what we call in the somatic language, the language of the body, an information that what's about to come is good. Right? So imagine the following. You are really mad at a person and you try to yell at that person smiling. Oh my Lord, you are so bad. It comes out as sarcastic, ironic. You feel wrong. But how long did it take the teacher to get in the right, in the optimal state? How long? 3, 4, 5 seconds? But something special happened here. What was that? He was aware. How many times we are aware of the transitions we have during the day? How many transitions you have during the day? At least 50. At least 50. And you don't know one of it. So again I say, if you have to remember just one thing from my talk today, remember about the optimal state, because that's the beginning of everything. If you're not aware, well, things just pass by, you are in the autopilot. And if your autopilot is not playing in favor of you, it's playing against you, what do you think is going to happen? Outcomes are not going to be good. So, what do you guys have to remember? Okay, you.
No, it's not get it, it's be aware
Of what?
of your state, or your mind,
All right. How?
paying attention, breathing.
Yes.
Go.
Did everyone understand what Grandpa says? All right. So, are you all right, grandfather? Not yet? Okay. Someday. So that felt just like Grandpa talking. Isn't that true? So remember this. Guys, so one thing that we're going to have today is our roadmap. This is what we're going to do today. So that was just the introduction, okay? So breathe. Think to yourself, this shall also pass. And you will survive at the end of my talk. Don't worry, I guarantee that to you. So I'm going to use a metaphor because we are symbolic people. Then we are going to equation. Believe it or not, there are people who love equations. They just live by that. Then we got to understand interferences on individual level, team level, corporate level, and finally, what can we actually do about it? All right, so a metaphor to help us, and we got geologists here. So geologists are going to be my friends trying to get my language through. So I want you just to think about this, the soil and the seed. Soil in this analogy means the circumstances, the conditions. And seed represents potential. Basically represents potential. But I need you to think about one thing here. What's the size of a seed? It's quite small, right? Well, if you got mango, avocado, then that's a big seed, man. But in spite of that, we have one thing to look at. And now it's an exercise of observation. What do we have to look at? What's the size of the tree compared to the seed that's also equal to us? We are the seeds, we are potential, and our realizations, the fruits, the tree, what we can become, what we can do, It's infinitely bigger than us. Okay, looks like I'm a pastor now talking. Okay, that's true. God's going to bless you, and he or she is going to be really happy to understand that the seed that's you will blossom into a really, really big tree, a really, really nice fruit. Okay, very well. Does it make sense? Just a checkpoint here. Does it make soil and seed? Now comes the tricky part. Well, the soil is going to bring you the conditions, and it can harness your potential, or it can be a blockage to your potential. Geologist, am I right here? Lucio, am I right? Yes? No? Okay, makes sense. So the soil, the environment is going to help you, or it's going to make problems. It's going to bring problems to you. Now the tricky part is, we as humans, we are seeds and also soil to ourselves. So we can become a source of power to our potential, and we ourselves can be blockage to what we got to realize. Do you guys understand what I'm saying? There's the outer soil, and there's the inner soil. And then what I want to do now is transform that metaphor into an equation. And this equation is very interesting because it's so simple. It's so obvious. And it was not created by me, unfortunately. I would love to have done that. But the guy who created this one is called Timothy Galway. He was a tennis player who was really good but failed. What did he do, Carlos? He looked at the failure and said, what can I get from those failures? Because he had as the potential to be a great tennis player, but he wasn't. And then he tried to understand what happened, and he realized that something is really happening, and he came with this equation. Can everyone read what's there? Okay, so performance is equal potential minus interference. Very simple equation, very simple to understand, very hard to make it happen. In reality, at home, at our job, do we want the best performance or not? Who agrees just says I? I don't see much agreement here. Do I need to re-explain something? Who wants great performance? At home, at society, at community, at the corporate level. Who wants high performance says I. Good. Now you're talking to yourself. That's good. That's not crazy, right? If you're alone, talking too much, that might be craziness. But anyways, you gotta talk to yourself. So, if I want to raise performance, what do I have to do? Mathematicians, engineers, help me here. What do I have to do looking at this very simple equation here? Minimize interference and increase potential. Think about this. I want you to do a imagining exercise. Here, I have a pathway, a highway. Perfect plan. No holes, no tolls. Straight, no curves. And I have a bike. A good bike rider, by the way. Parallel to this, I have a Lamborghini. Nice. Okay. In the same pathway, asphalt is perfect. Holes are perfect because they are not there. It's straight. It's 10 miles. Who is going to reach the end of the 10 miles first? Come on, that's not a very hard question, guys. There's no tricky question here. Who is going to get to the end of the 10 miles first? The bike rider or the Lamborghini? Do you guys want some more coffee? No? Okay. So, which one's going to get to the end of the 10 miles? Come to me. The Lamborghini. Good. Now, Potential is the same. Lamborghini is going to get to the end faster because its potential is much bigger than the bike. Of course, even though you may have a big thigh to ride that bike, man, Lamborghini's got like horses inside of it. We are not horses. We may have the power of at least one. The Lamborghini is going to have something like 400, 500. Oh, Jesus. There's no competition there. So potential, that's not fair. But now the Lamborghini is put in a different road. It's land, full of holes. It rained so much. So there's puddles, there are holes, there are trees that fell. Now there are a lot of curves. Cows are everywhere. Dogs are running, chasing the tire. So it's kind of, oh my God, looks like hell for a Lamborghini. But again, we still have the 10 miles. Same question. The bike's is still on the beautiful path. The Lamborghini is in the horrible path. Which one's going to get to the end of the 10 miles first?
Depends on the driver.
No! Well, if the driver can make the Lamborghini fly, that's true. But the environment, the context, brings so many interferences that avoids the potential to be used. So, despite the fact we do have potential, if we are not fit in the right context, we cannot blossom that potential. That's something so interesting, because then we start to feel kind of weird. It's like, I know I do have potential, but then I have to face some individual problems. I want to bring you guys 5 interferences on the individual level. You remember that I said that we would be talking about humans. Even engineers, believe me, they have feelings. Oh yeah, we all humans have feelings. To be true, we are emotional creatures. We are not rational creatures. We have reason, or the capacity for reasoning, as a tool, because we got the frontal cortex here operating nicely. If you're not ill, it's going to work nicely. But we are basically emotional creatures. But when we think about that, we are driven by emotion. What triggers emotion is our environment. Outside, as the soil, and also inside. Remember, we are the soil for ourselves. So whatever we think, whatever we see, that's going to trigger some emotion, my friend. But my question to you is, can you realize what emotion is that? Again, Grandpa, if you allow me. Are we aware of anything at all? Of our moment, of ourselves, our emotion. Then rage comes, you breathe, step back, look at your rage, and ask yourself, how can I transform this into a resource? I don't know if you thought about it. Is it good to feel rage? To be upset? To feel sad? Is it good? Yes or no? It depends. Thanks God. Yes, that's the right question, the right answer. It depends, but most of the time if I ask you, do you want to feel sad now? No, Tiago, I'm already sad. What you're talking about is making me sad. Okay, I'm sorry. But that also is good. But if I ask you, do you want to feel upset? Will be your question yes or no? No. Do you want to feel rage, anger? Do you want to feel that? No. What do we want to feel? Happiness, enjoyment, fulfillment. That's not human. We are a roller coaster, baby. We are a roller coaster all the time. And if we are armed with emotions like that, we got to ask ourselves to bring that to awareness. Why do I feel rage? Why do I feel sad? Why do I feel upset? Because emotion, emovere, emotion. Without emotion, we don't move. We are creatures of muscle. We need muscle to behave. We need muscle to move. That's very easy. You get to a person, and the person says to you, Gabi, today I'm really sad. Now, I'm really happy. You have no idea how happy I am with you being here now. That's a great thing to be here with you guys today. You know, I'm exploding inside. Don't you see this? Why are you laughing? Are you happy? That's why you're laughing? Good. What's going on here? You cannot identify what I'm feeling, despite the fact that I'm saying. You just don't believe it. Why? Because you cannot see it. You cannot feel it. So now I'm happy to be here, guys. That's so cool. Could you yell a little lower? Sure, I can, but I just wanted to be a little bit too much. Regularly? Well, that happens. So, what does that teach us? Emotion gets us moving inclusively in our relationships. We need emotion to relate correctly. And sadness is part of that. Sadness is also an energy. Oh my God, he's mystic, esoteric now. He's talking about energy. It's not from oil? You got a t-shirt that could be a little bit esoteric here. I like it. That's so good. That's why I envy you right now. It sounds a little mystic, too much mystic. But your emotion is your energy. You got to learn how to use it. If you feel rage, you can direct that towards, wow, I changed the position of the mic now. That feels better. So we just have to direct, put our emotion into the right thing. How do we do that? How do we do that? Can we have another agreement? Yes or no? Yes. Good. They're improving very nicely. You know why? Because I asked it, can we have an agreement? They said yes, but they don't know what agreement that's going to be. Trust. That's the magical word of today. Trust. So, what's the agreement? When comes a question, we hope for an answer also to arise. Okay? So, how do we do the new direction for that emotion we are feeling? What's the first step? How? Breath. Oh my God! We were at that beautiful place to learn we got to breathe. Yes, consciously, aware of that. Because one thing about emotion you guys have to tattoo in your head. You don't control it. It controls you. Why? Biologically speaking. Who understands of biology here? Raise hands. Okay, good. So you're going to correct me if I'm wrong. Emotion is faster than consciousness. It appears, it arises before you are aware of that. That's why you can become aware. See, that's very easy. So Lucio rises to me and said, "You cannot do that. You're going to be fired." Okay, so now my heart's going to pump up. My pupil's going to shrink. I'm going to start to sweat. Okay, now I'm in anger. That would be if emotion came after consciousness. No, emotion comes before. So you got to be aware of that. When it arises, breathe. Boy, what is this that I'm feeling? I don't have a name for that. Okay, but at least I'm aware of that. My heart's pumping. Oh, I'm sweating more than I should. Did I remember? Oh, yes, I did remember. Breathe. Bringing to your optimal state. Now, if you are in rage, you are going to a meeting, and you gotta not be in rage, there's a tool. Take note. Go to a good memory. A memory that triggers the good feeling you need. That can be happiness, that can be tranquility, whatever you need as a resource, emotional resource, go to your memory. Keep that in mind and go like, okay, now I can feel better. Are you guys with me? Yes or no? Okay, good. Now it's getting better, Lucio. I'm gonna get here somewhere. So the second thing is inner chat. What is this inner chat? That's something that's so interesting because emotion arises. Remember that our emotion are triggered by the inputs we have outside. Something happens, we react, period. But also, something happens inside. But there's one specific thing that happens, maybe not here because you're very grown-ups and mature people. But let me tell you, in the real world, what happens. People do something wrong, they fail, and then they start an inner chat. Oh my God, I'm so stupid. Why do I always fail on this? Shit, sorry again. Man, how can you be such a creepy on that task? You again are doing something wrong. You are an idiot. Has someone talked to yourself like that at least sometimes? Yes, you don't have to raise hands. I can see on your faces because you're emotional people, right? I can read that. Some people I can't. They are just like, I'm happy, I'm sad. Okay, but anyways, that's okay. Maybe we have to study that person. But see, this is the point. When we do that, what do you think happens to your emotion? You trigger something. Oh, I remember that sad moment. Do you feel happy or sad? Sad. Well, if you're sarcastic, you may feel happy. But most of the time, a sad memory makes you sad. A happy memory makes you happy. But again, does the fact exist at this right moment? At this very moment? No, it does not. But it exists in here. Now imagine you talking to yourself like this. Change yourself as a friend. Now you are looking at your best friend in front of you. And then you think of yourself looking in the eye of that person and saying, you are an idiot. You always make things wrong. You have no salvation. Go to hell. Do you imagine yourself talking to your friend like that? No? Okay, so does someone see yourself talking to a friend like that? Yes or no? No. Okay, I'm gonna respond for you guys. No, you don't talk to your friend like that. Then the question is, why do you talk to yourself like that? Don't become your worst enemy. Become your best coach. Recognize, becoming the best coach is not tapping on your back. Yeah, make mistakes, that's life. Yeah, but you got a job. You got to pay your bills. You got to, bring performance. So that's good for you to realize. Again, be aware that you made a mistake. Okay, realization, and then now, what am I going to do? That's something so important because it brings us or takes us to the next point here. Not having support from teammates, leader, and also at home. Does someone here know the work from Joseph Campbell? The mythologist. So he studied all the mythologies. Mythologies basically in a symbolic way, historical way, they represent human experience. And then he abstracted a pattern. 12 steps, 16 steps, 18 steps, depends. But he abstracted that. Hollywood uses that frame. That's why we love movies. Normal people love movies, right? So that's why we love movies, because they represent our personal journey and everyone's journey. Every single good journey that really makes you rise from where you started. There's the presence of a mentor that comes to your life, that's going to give you support. Why? Because you can be drawn into yourself. And someone is going to have to help you. We are not creatures of loneliness. We are creatures of community. We are creatures that were born to socialize. So let it be. Ask for help. Be aware of your need. And remember, the hero's journey, if you want to take note of that, so you can, Google a little bit about this, Joseph Campbell, hero's journey. Now, a little pause here. Why am I talking about these interferences? Do you guys have any idea why we are talking about this personal, individual level interferences? Yes or no? Everyone knows? Is anyone here who did not understand why I'm bringing this subject for discussion? Okay, so I'm happy. You can see that I am happy now. Why? Because this is fundamental. Why is this fundamental? Because not being aware of this, you are gonna do something that's really bad. Back to the inner chat, just as an example. So you start talking to yourself. And then, another thing can happen. You can blame yourself, but then you can target someone else. Grandpa always makes me do things wrong. Grandpa always blocks my way. Grandpa never shares the information with me. What am I doing now? I'm transferring the control to someone else. I become a victim. And what happens when I become a victim and I have power? Institutional power. I become a tyrant. So out of the three, it's good you become your own target, because then you have control. Then you can choose to do something about it and look for a mentor. Another thing, not having a clear goal. Oh, Tiago, you have no idea. At the company, all we have are goals. We live by goals. We live by metrics. No, I'm talking about your personal goal, where you as an individual, a citizen, a person, is going in your life. Do you have any idea what you're striving for? To become more virtuous? To become more patient? To become more loving? What's your goal in your life? You know why this is important? Think about this. I don't have a personal goal for growth. If I have no goal for my personal growth, my soul growth, when I'm in a relationship to anyone else, I'm going to be driven by someone else's goals, called corporation. That's important. But it got to match with your personal goal, because then you become a leaf flying in the wind. You don't like that, really. Sometimes if you're at the beach, that's okay. With some margaritas, that's okay. On the daily basis, we got to have the sense of control. We don't control much. Most of our lives we don't control. But if we don't have a goal, we are not pursuing a growth of our own, we don't know how to look for a mentor. Then we start that inner chat. Then we lose control. Then we lose the capacity to manage our emotional state. And then we may forget that the most important thing is our optimal state. Do you see the chain here? How it unfolds? And of course, if I have a goal, I got to have a plan. So, not having a plan. You know, there is a saying, I don't know if you guys share that, but there's a saying, you plan, God laughs. Why? A show of hands of a plan you were in that was just exactly as you wrote it. Show me who had that experience. The way you plan is exactly the way it unfolded. Is that true or not? No. So why do we plan? Oh my God, isn't that obvious? Yeah. Can you unfold the obvious for me? Can you explain what obvious means in this situation? Of course we have to plan, but we never follow the plan. It's like, no, we try to follow. But the plan doesn't unfold exactly as we desired. But we still need a plan. And why? I got to know where I'm going off track. I got to have a map. Remember, we need maps and compass, not tracks. When I have a map and I have a compass, a goal to go, I just let myself go into the experience of being in the field with my map. And then I just realized, you know what? This map is not exactly the field. Waze sometimes makes mistake. Yes, it does. And it's got some artificial intelligence. So, where's your map? Your personal map. Or your life is just a corporation. No, Tiago, I have a good time with family. Good? Show me in your agenda the spots you have intentionally reserved to your family. Oh, you know, I just need the agenda for my corporation. Why? Because it's more important than my family. No, my family is so important, my agenda is right here. So you never fail, right? No, you're going to fail if you don't have your own map. If you don't have the intention of looking at these interferences. So let's recap. Poor emotional management. Second, inner chat, mostly negative. Third one, not having the support. Fourth one, not having a goal. And fifth one, not having a plan. We really got to take care of that. That's basic. That's soil. How we are nurturing that soil, okay? Any questions? Good. Any questions? No, you know, I don't have any questions because I have all the questions. So I cannot choose which question I'm going to give to you, Tiago. Okay, that's no problem. I'm going to be here the whole day. And I really hope that I can be called. So now, let's talk about this module because we are coming from the level of individuality, the individual level, to the team level. I heard someone here started studying this book. Who are you guys? Nobody? You read the book? Good. Anyone else? 5 Dysfunctions of a Team? I really recommend you have that book. I really do. Okay, so we are going to 5 levels. What are these 5 levels? They are an upside down waterfall. He's talking about dysfunction. So if the dysfunction on the lower level happens, it creates the dysfunction of the next level, and so on. Now, show me where results are. Where are results in this module? On the top. But I start from the bottom. The bottom, not the bottle, okay? He's recording me. I'm not doing any alcohol propaganda here, okay? It's from the bottom. From the bottom, we have to start with trust. But there's a catch here. A real good catch. That's why it's wide open, the base of this pyramid. Because it is the most important. What do we understand by trust? Most of the time we understand by previsibility, forecasting. So if I give that thing to Grandpa, I know he's going to do it. If I give a goal and a date, he's going to fulfill it beautifully. so I can rely on his professional competency. But you know, just you and me here. Man, I cannot say anything else to him, you know. I had a problem with Lucy. I need to talk to someone else. I only have Grandpa, and I cannot talk to him. He doesn't listen to me. Do you agree with that? It's like, man, I feel so alone here now. No, you know, everything he does is just perfect, professionally speaking, but man, I don't trust that man. I cannot say anything that's weak about me. I gotta look like a Superman to Grandpa. That's the second phase of trust, which is based on vulnerability. That's why the dysfunction is called invulnerability. Now, if I ask anyone here to talk about someone else intimately, okay, so do you know him? Do you work with him? Yeah. Okay, good. How many dogs does he have? Sorry? How many dogs does he have? One. One dog. What's the name of the dog? No, I don't know the name. Oh, okay. Does he have kids? No. No kids? Does he want to have kids?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure. Okay. What type of beer does he like? Liquid. Okay, I get it. When was the last time you saw him sad?
The last time?
Yes.
I don't remember, yeah.
You don't remember. So he basically is a happy person. A joyful person all the time. He is happy. No?
Yeah.
All the time?
No.
No.
Quite as happy all the time.
Good. So when was the last time you saw him not happy?
We have been working together for 4 months.
That's beautiful. 4 months, man. If you're married for 4 months, that's something, right? That's an adventure. I've been married for 24 years. That's a bigger adventure. Okay? Why am I doing here? Oh, I don't have to know his dog's name. No, you don't have to, but you should. Why? Now you know that he's opening to you for free. Because when there's trust, there's sharing. When there's sharing, there's information that's outside corporate level. Why? Because we are not robots. We are humans. And tell me, if you do have the chance to be heard deeply, will you choose just to be heard at therapy? Yes or no? No. If you can really trust someone, you're going to tell it even inside the company. But there's a catch. And that's where things get a little nasty. You trust to the point that person is not going to use that information against you. So, it's on the leader's shoulder, the creation of the soil that brings vulnerability. The leader has to be the first. Got it? It starts with the leader. Oh yeah, sorry. But you know, when I heard about Lucio's profile, I was really happy. That's why I thought, man, I'm going to be with Formula One people. Fine-tuning, fine-tuning. So, one thing that's important for us to do is to remember this figure. Hulkbuster. All right. Why do I have to remember an armored figure? Think about your emotion. Think about your sensation. If you don't feel free to be vulnerable, you are not going to be naive. Be aware. Don't tell your secrets to anyone. Mainly to your boss, if your boss did not share with you first. Okay, that's a good takeaway. But the point is, if you have to hold back all the time, you are in a meeting. In that meeting, you breathe. I remember Tiago. He's so boring, but man, some information were good. All right, so I remember optimal state. Get in touch with myself. I'm feeling anger, and I'm feeling anger because my dad is at the hospital. And I gotta be in this meeting now. And you don't feel free just to raise your hand and say, you know, guys, really, I cannot detach from my dad at hospital. I cannot forget it. I don't check my dad's illness at the company door. It's here with me. Now, if I am in a safe place, I will look into your eyes and say, I will ask for forgiveness first, because I may not be in my best performance today, because I have my head and my heart in my dad. Do you understand? Of course. Can I do something for you, Tiago? Yeah. Can you let me go to the hospital? Now. Go. But the meeting, well, in a place, in a soil that's not safe, you will just not say anything. But performance equal potential minus interference. The interference got so high. Your potential is still there, but it's going to be lowered so down. Your performance is going to be crappy. And then by the end of the day, your boss is going to look at you and say, nasty job, huh? You could do better. And you inside are saying, man, I really want to punch you in the face. But then you smile, lying to yourself. Remember, trusts start with the leader in the team level. And leader, be aware who you have in your team. Good for you, you have good people. That's why my challenge here was so big, because you guys are already good. It's fine-tuning. It's get to the optimal state. Very good. Why did I say about the armor? Because if you have to hold yourself back like that situation I described with Dad at the hospital, you feel like wearing an armor, don't you? Like protection all the time. You gotta protect yourself. Because, oh my God, I'm vulnerable. If I am vulnerable, I'm protected. I armor myself. But inside, I'm deteriorating as human. I want you guys to see Inside Out, divertidamente em português. Who has not seen that movie? Okay, all right. Gotta be kids sometime. Good. So the point is, Riley, the main character here in this movie, is going through transformation, emotional transformation. And inside her head, there's Bing Bong, her childhood, imaginal friend. That's Bing Bong. And then they're in a quest to help Riley stabilize her emotions. And then sadness and happiness is along with Bing Bong. Let's see what happens.
Trip planned for us.
Hey, who's ticklish, huh? Here comes the tickle monster. Hey, Bing Bong, look at this. Oh, here's a fun game. You point to the train station and we all go there. Won't that be fun? Come on, let's go to the train station.
I'm sorry they took your marble. They took something that you loved. It's gone. Forever.
Sadness. Don't make him feel worse.
Sorry.
It's all I have left of Riley.
I bet you and Riley had great adventures.
Oh, wonderful. Once we flew back in time, we had breakfast twice that day.
Sadness.
It sounds amazing. I bet Riley liked it.
Oh, she did. We were best friends.
Yeah, it's sad.
I'm okay now. Come on. The train station is this way.
How did you do that?
I don't know. I was sad, so I listened to what.
Hey, there's the train.
Oh, we made it! We're finally gonna get home! Oh, these facts and opinions look so similar.
Don't worry about it. Happens all the time.
Isn't that beautiful? The correct usage of an emotion. And the emotion that was used to connect to the other person, that we call empathy, was sadness, not happiness. Fine-tuning to understand someone else. It's a good thing to try and feel what that someone else is feeling. We are human beings. We need connection. And talking about connection, so this is what we're going to do. I just love that image. So, I need you guys to do a little dynamic with me. That's going to take us 8 minutes. Okay? I'm watching my watch, but can I go a little further? Do you allow me? I think it's needed. Do I have your, your permission? So let's do it. Everyone stand up. Now, you look for the person that's behind you. If you don't have a person behind you, look for someone who is alone. I need you guys to pair up. Form pairs, but look behind you. Who does not have a pair? Who does not have a pair? You don't have a pair? Do you guys know each other kind of frequently? Yeah. Do you know him frequently? Yes. Oh, Lord. Okay, so that's going to be good anyways. All right? So you're going to be doing with him, you're going to be doing with her. So pair up, face to face, not too close. Face to face, not too close. What I need you guys to do, relax, get in the right state, in your optimal state. I'm going to ask you guys to close your eyes and just listen to instructions. Close your eyes. Trust me. No abduction is going to happen here. Uncross your arms. Do not cross your arms and close your eyes. I'm going to count to 10. And by the way, I did not start counting to 10, okay? I will start counting to 10. When I finish, when I say 10, you're going to open your eyes and look into your partner's eyes for 4 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are some people who are in a hurry here. 7, 8, 9, 10. Connect. In silence, just eye to eye. Silence, just eye to eye, please. Keep silence. See, it's just 4 minutes of connection. Eye to eye, no talk. Just eye to eye. Be there. Remember, eyes are the windows of our soul. Keep your eye there. Yes. Okay, so this is what you're gonna do. You have 2 minutes to share with your partner whatever you felt. Just share freely. Tell the other person. Only 2 minutes to do so. Everything all right? Do you need a water? Yes. Good.
Roller coaster of emotions. A gente não é super conectado, mas assim.
You can share. Only if you want. All right. Okay, guys. Now see. Who is with me? Clap once. Clap. Who is with me? Clap twice. Who is with me? Clap sitting. Thank you. Applause to you all. Now, just for you to understand what sensation is, I did not let you stay for 4 minutes. That was just only 2. But it feels like an endless time. It's like, oh my Lord, isn't that going to finish? But then I let you be for 2 more minutes in a conversation, and that felt like 2 seconds. Isn't that true? Yes or not? But time, chronologically speaking, exactly the same. Time experienced, completely different. We got to be aware of that. One lesson that's important to take from this also, not just this one. Connecting deeply to someone else takes effort. It drains. Oh my God, sometimes it's so difficult. But let's say it can free you from so many chains. Just look in the eye. Take a look at this.
mustache.
So this was a technique used to welcome refugees, to break barriers of cultures, of different point of views, just to connect the humans. It's so interesting that to drill oil, we need great technology. Am I right? But to drill a soul, we just need the eyes. Having the courage to really look into the eyes. And it's so rare. Who is married here don't have to answer. Don't have to answer. But inside of you, answer that. When was the last time you looked at your husband, your wife's eyes deeply? For at least 1 minute intentionally, even in a conversation, talking to your wife, your husband like this, I'm here entirely for you. When was the last time that you did the same in a meeting? Well, what happens is that if you're not able to do this, to become vulnerable, helped by the leader, helped by the peers, helped by ourselves managing what's going on here, we go to the next problem. Lencioni calls dysfunction. If we cannot be vulnerable, we don't trust to be in conflict. What does it mean to be conflict? To be in conflict is to say what needs to be said about the subject, not the person. Not you, but your behavior maybe of what we have to do, and I don't agree. If I don't have the capacity of being in conflict, then I'm going to have a big problem, because commitment is going to be a lie. Jeff Bezos and Intel, they have the same saying. Let's disagree and commit, because we all want to be heard. If we are genuinely heard, we can commit, because we are human beings. If you're not heard, your inner chat is gonna betray you. See? Why am I gonna commit this? Just because they decided? I know he's the boss, I know she's the boss, but I just don't agree. So yeah, we can do that. But you know, you're gonna be a big interference on yourself. Your potential is gonna diminish. You're not hit the target really well. And if you do, that's gonna cost you a hardship of work. That's gonna be troubleful for you. You're gonna be in burnout. You're gonna be stressed just because you did not pour that out. Are you gonna pour out anything? No. What's needed to be said about the subject. And emotionally too, Lencioni talks about that. Someone who's watching a good conflictful meeting may say, man, these people are just weird. You know, I have a friend called Moacir Piovesana. He calls Emilia his daughter. And this is a funny situation. Emilia, you know, you are kind of crazy. You did that shoot again. Man, can't I believe in you? Can't I trust you? Are you crazy? Okay, I love you. See you home. Bye. Looks really weird, but that's truth. Again, not any truth. A good conversation about the subject. Remember what Elizabeth Gilbert said. Don't strive to be the most interesting person in the room. Strive to be the most interested person in the room. Really, listen up. Let people talk. And if you're not talking, go back inside your 5 interferences, do a check, an X-ray, and for yourself, for your own sake, ask, I'm not speaking up. Why? Emotional? Yeah. I am going to give myself a C. Well, you guys remember the 5 interferences? Let's recap that. So the first one is emotional management. The second one is inner chat, our self-talk. The third one is support from partners. Fourth one, having a goal. Fifth one, having a plan. Checklist of why you're not speaking up. Do a scat can? That's the correct? I don't remember this one. Cat can. You know, the door, you go inside a tube, and the doctor is going to see everything that's inside of you, but your soul. That the doctor is not going to see. Okay, so if there is trust, vulnerable one, you can have conflict, then we really can commit. And then we go to the last level, not the last, but the before last one, with accountability. Think about. And Lencioni says something that's so interesting. The best accountability process is peer to peer, not from boss to peer. It's for you to be secure in yourself enough and by the environment to call grandpa and says, Grandpa, man, you're not delivering as we agreed. What's going on? Being accountable. You have an account. You have a contract that came from that commitment. But if you're not trustworthy in a vulnerable way, not in a naive way, you cannot raise to the point of accountability. And finally, we can go to the last one, which is focusing on our results. Hey, Tiago, but that one is very obvious. No. If all the problems below happen, you're going to be focused on results, your own results, not your team results. That makes all the difference. Because it's so easy to say, you go to a lecture and the person is going to tell you, you got to work for the team, baby. You got to bring results for the team. That's what everyone expects from you. Well, again, that's obvious, isn't that, Grandpa? Absolutely obvious? Yes, but then on the daily basis, some people cannot do it. Why? They fail on the other levels. So, I'm not going to call Grandpa. I will just take care of my silo. I will just take care of my life. But again, this probably is not a problem with you guys. It's just fine-tuning here. So, interference on the individual level, on the team level, and we got to go to the company level. And here, just an X-ray for you guys to remember, no details now. These levels here are very important. Why? This is the big soil. How are the policies in your company? Hey, Tiago, what does it have to do with safety? Because the policy, the spirit of the company is for competition, pure competition. 1-to-1, that's going to be a little harder. Impossible, no, but a little harder. Then from policies, you go to values. And here, one thing. Do you guys know what values are in practice? How do I know what type of value is being used? Do you have a guess? Every time I go to consultants, I ask my client to do the following. List the 10 good decisions you made in the last month. Based on those decisions, I try to drill out the values. Why? Value is a decision instrument. We use our values as our guardrails to direct our limits. If my value is transparency, I will strive to be transparent. But if I only say that and don't do it, that's just a wish. That's not reality. So if we are aware of the values of the company, we can connect to it. We can connect our personal values to the company values. And then we go to metrics, then we go to habits and rituals. See, we go from up, down, and every single artifact of our cultural system that's going to let us see how fertile is our big soil. Does it make sense, these elements for everyone here? Lucio, does it make sense? Good. So, how do you do this? A check. Yourself, in the team, and how the company operates. And you try to find an alignment in all the levels. See? Safety is so easy. Starts with being human. Okay, so, just to get to the end of this, what can we do? On the personal level, that's for taking note. If you guys wish, I can share those slides with you, okay? So, the 5 pillars of well-being. Remember this. Nurturing yourself. Food, what do you eat? Sleep, how do you sleep? Okay, that went to sleep, guys. Yeah, so it's lying down. Third one, so first one, eating. Second one, sleeping. Third one, exercising. See, Grandpa speaking again. Fourth one, human connection. We needed to feel safe. Fifth one, time affluence. A good metaphor to remember time affluence. Everyone, Alice in the Wonderland? Remember the rabbit, the white rabbit with the watch? What does it say all the time? I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late. If you have the experience, you don't have time affluence. You have to have the experience of having time. If you don't have that experience, you are not nurturing the basics for your well-being. Inner chat, observe to manage it. Have a personal goal to achieve in your life, ideally a goal for a higher good. Saving the world? No, saving yourself. Try to be virtuous, more patient, more loving. Remember, you are not alone in what you face. Time traveling. This is a good one. So something's happening to you, you ask yourself, man, I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling bad about this. But how am I going to feel about this tomorrow? Next week. Next month. Next year. So we create a distance from the fact, then we can get in touch with ourselves. Now for the leaders, allow the team to speak up. Those who do not speak shall be encouraged to do so. But again, it's not the leader, because Lucy is opening space for people to speak up. If there is a space we are not using, we have to look at ourselves. Okay? Does it make sense? Yes? Okay, good. Be clear about your vision, even in times of crisis and doubt. So, guys, I'm not quite sure, but I have an idea. Let's try together. Find out your team's values and nurture a place where they can be fulfilled. If I ask for the leaders in this room about the values of your employees, of your followers, of your team, would you be able to at least put together 3 values of each person of the team? That's a good question. So if you don't know how you're going to nurture, you got to know. That person value nature. What can you do to help that person nurture that? Because if your value is nurtured, you feel better. But I'm a leader. I've got to nurture values that are towards professional, that are towards the corporate. No. Corporate's part of your employee's life, not the whole life. Okay? Observe your team's emotions and be aware of what serves as fertilizer or plagues. So we gotta watch our own emotions. Sorry, leaders, you gotta also watch your team's emotions. To be the mentor, to be the coach, to be the one along. Observe your own emotions. And then I finish with this, thanks God, so you don't sleep forever. What you're going to see here is not an invitation for what you have to do. It's an invitation for how you got to do. Okay?
คือได้แค่ความรู้สึกได้เห็นความสุขได้เข้าใจได้ความรักได้ในสิ่งที่เงินซื้อไม่ได้ได้โลกที่สวยงามกว่าเดิมในชีวิตคุณอะไรคือสิ่งที่คุณต้องการมากที่สุด
ไทยประกันชีวิตเชื่อในความดี
Hope my mission was accomplished. Thank you very much for your time, for your attention. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Tiago.
My pleasure.
There's a lot for us to process.